All right, today we're going to talk about angle measure. Let me see if I can get, I don't think it's, the screen just doesn't look. All right, guys, today we're going to talk about angle measure. Ooh, this is being slow. We've got some vocabulary. So we've talked about lines, we've talked about segments, and now I'm going to add array to that. So you guys have probably heard of array. Array has one endpoint, and then the other side goes on and on and on forever. So a line, both sides go on and on forever. A segment stops, two endpoints. Array has one endpoint, the other side goes on and on forever. Now when we talk about naming array, for some reason, even if it's going to the left, if I name this ray, I have to name this ray Y, X, and I always point the arrow to the right. I don't know why, that's just how it is in math. But that first letter has to be the endpoint. So there's no other way to go except towards X. So are you guys okay with that? Okay, so ray, Y, X. Now an angle is formed by two rays. Guys, pay attention. An angle is formed by two rays. So this is the vertex, that's the end point of both rays. I've got ray XY and ray XZ. So those are the sides. This is called the vertex. Yeah, I think that's it. That's an angle.
Okay.
Formed by two rays coming together. Boom.
What do you name both the angles?
Well, we're going to talk about it. There are several ways to name an angle, and this is really important. One way to name an angle is by the number inside. So sometimes I could name this angle 1. Or I could name it by the vertex, angle B. Or I could name it angle QBT. Notice B's in the center because that's the vertex. Or TBQ. I would not name it like TQB because that would mean the vertex is at Q. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the reason we would name an angle with the three letters, like it's probably easiest to say angle 1 or angle B, right? The reason we would name it with three letters though is if you have two angles connected to one. So say I've got A, B, C, D. I could not name this angle B because you would not know which angle I'm talking about. So that's whenever you can't name it by the vertex. So I would have to name it angle A, B, C if I'm talking about that angle, or angle C, B, D if I'm talking about that angle, or A, B, D if I'm talking about the big angle.
Can you name CBA? ABB.
I could. CBA, yes.
Could you also name like angle 1?
If there are numbers inside, yes. So if I had two angles connected and I have a 1 or a 2, I could say angle 1 or angle 2. If there's numbers inside. So the three letters is when the angles are connected to another angle. So those are different ways. Just make sure the vertex is that middle letter. Okay, an angle divides a plane into different sections. So we've got interior points on the inside of the angle and exterior points on the outside of the angle, and then we have points on the angle. So you're going to have some problems like this in your assignment. So let's look at this together. First it says name the vertex of angle 2. So if I look at angle 2 up here, what is the vertex? V. Do you see the letter? Yeah, V. Name the sides of angle 5. So here is angle 5. Now when you name the side, you have to start at the end point. So I would start at T, and what would this side be called? TS, and that is a ray. And then TW, yes. And that is a ray. What is another name for angle 4? Could I name angle 4 angle T?
No.
No, how come?
Because
You don't know.
Do you see how it's connected to several different angles? We wouldn't know which angle if I just said angle T. But what's another way I could name angle 4?
STW.
STU or UTS. Angle. What is another name for angle TWV? So TWV. TWV. You always follow the angle in the order of the letters. So TWV, what's another way I could name that
Angle 1.
Angle 1. Or angle, go ahead. BWT. Could I just name it angle W? No, because it's connected to other angles. Do you guys all see that? Okay. All right, guys. Shh. What is a point on the interior, inside of angle STV? W. Do you see that point on the inside? Okay. So you will have some problems like that on your assignment.
Question, do we need to capitalize it?
You might, yeah. Okay, anytime you see that little M in front of an angle sign, don't let it freak you out. It just means the measure of the angle. So if this angle is 80 degrees and you see that little M, the measure of angle A is 80. So a lot of times people see that little M and they're like, oh, what's that mean? It just means the measure of the angle. So you guys probably already know this. If an angle is acute, it's less than 90. Do you guys know that?
Yeah, cute is like little things.
If an angle is right, it is exactly 90.
The perfect person.
The perfect person. If it is obtuse,
It's obese.
it's more than 90. And if it's a straight angle, it's 180
That's how I
degrees.
remember them though.
Yeah. So acute, it's so cute, it's little, or
Q is right, and right is like, oh, he's over right.
Yes.
Fat.
Yes.
And straight, we just straight.
Okay, so you're gonna have some problems like this where you have to decide